Recently, I made a video about the Supernova Trio, which includes Luffy, Law, and Kid, and I'll leave that video in the description. But I made that video because of how important those characters are to the series. Now, something has happened to each of them recently in the manga. Specifically, well, at least two of them have suffered pretty nasty defeats. Those include Law and Kid, and I want to talk about this along with Luffy as well, and what will happen to him for the rest of the series. I want to talk about why they were defeated, how I feel about this, and what is next for them in the story. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that away, my name is Potential Unleashed, and here we're going to talk about the next generation of pirates and what's in store for them. After Wano, the three of them went down different paths. Law, he chose the northeast. Luffy and Kid, they picked out the Middle East. They ended up deciding going to where they're going to go afterwards, after arguing a little bit, where they each ran into different people. Kid, he ran into Shanks. Law, he ran into Blackbeard, and Luffy ran into Vegapunk. The one who suffered defeat first was Shanks. Well, honestly, actually, well, at least in terms of chronological order from the manga, it probably happened roughly around the same time, but I just want to talk about him, like I said, because it was introduced first in the manga. He was searching for the man marked by flames, and actually we found a little bit more about him in the recent chapter, talking about how he rides on a black ship and swallows his enemies in this gigantic vortex if they end up wandering too close. So Kid, he is searching for this man, and he ends up running into Shanks. We know that Kid and Shanks have history, as Kid lost his arm to a member of the Red Hair Pirates. Shanks challenged Kid, saying, hey, you can either leave and give your poneglyph rubbings, or you can either stay and fight and be defeated. It's up to you. Where Kid, he pulls out his down punk attack, and we know how strong this attack is, as Big Mom, she has so much durability, and yet this attack did some heavy damage to her. Shanks, he saw into the future and predicted that it would do a lot of damage, because he ended up sweating a little bit, and Ben Beckman even stated something along the lines of, dang, that's some future that you've seen. Shanks, he sprung into action, used Divine Departure, which is a Conqueror's coded, advanced Conqueror's attack, and he ended up defeating Kid. Killer, he even tried to step in, and it did nothing to him. They were both knocked unconscious. Kid's crew begged for their lives and said, hey, we leave, take the rubbings, where their ship was ended up cut in half, and this was the defeat by red-haired Shanks of the Kid Pirates. Law, he ended up running into Blackbeard. Blackbeard predicted that someone would end up on this path after leaving Wano, and the crew that consists of, the ones that Blackbeard brought in order to fight Law consists of himself, Jesus Burgess, Vinegar, and Doc. Law, he's going head up against Blackbeard. This is the first time Law would be fighting a Yonko one-on-one. He uses Chrome, Blackbeard uses his Devil Fruits, and they're off, showing that, hey, they can compete against each other. And then the fight ended in chapter 1081. We see Law, his hat on the ground. He is all blooded, battered, along with Beppo. The polar tank gets destroyed. Some of his crewmates are in the water. Blackbeard, he's ready to take Law's Devil Fruit. He's like, yo, what am I going to do to you? How much do you think the Ope would go for? We know it's worth about 5 bills. So if he ended up killing Law, he definitely would be getting a lot of money for it. Beppo, he ended up transforming into a Sulong. He attacked Blackbeard, took Law, and escaped. The Heart Pirates, they suffered an utter defeat to the Blackbeard Pirates, similar to how Shanks defeated Kid. So I would say that this fight, if Law, because Law, we know his crew is very weak, aside from him and Beppo, I don't really know nobody else, and so if they were to have fought one-on-one, I still think Blackbeard would have won. But if you look at the manga panels, Blackbeard definitely took some damage from this fight. Let's talk about Luffy for a little bit. Will he suffer a same level defeat like Law and Kid? Egghead Island has an incident that has been reported, at least kind of in the future, that it will inflict a shock that the world never saw coming. Everybody that's on Egghead Island consists of the Straw Hats, Vegapunk, Boney, Seraphim, CP0, Kizaru, a Blackbeard ship that's approaching. It's probably Katarina Devon and a couple other members as well, because probably Lafayette as well, because everybody else have been accounted for. The people who are fighting Garp on the Hive Island, and then we saw Blackbeard's crew going against Law, and also one of the elders, I believe his name is Saint J Garcia, Saturn. So those are all the people there. And I will say this, I don't think that they're going to lose because the Straw Hats, they definitely leveled up. There's Gear 5th, there's King of Hell, Ifrit Jambe, Nami Guy Zeus, Robin has Demon of Fleur, Chopper, his monster point can be longer and a lot more power-ups. What's about to happen on Egghead Island is to show how strong they've gotten. This arc is supposed to be Sabaody Archipelago, but the opposite. In Sabaody, the Straw Hats were completely humiliated, completely separated, completely overpowered, defeated, outmatched, whatever you want to call it, by Kizaru, the pacifist, the Centaur, etc. And somebody had to come in and save them. Nobody's going to save them this time. They are Yonko crew. It won't happen, especially now that Kizaru is the one that's coming. They have to get their get back on against him. And also, what's the benefit of the story of a newly found Yonko crew being defeated already? I don't see any merit to the story. Law and Kid on Sabaody, they're the ones who had the upper hand. They're the ones that escaped, unlike the Straw Hats. And so now it's their turn for them to hit rock bottom. It's their turn to suffer from defeat and suffer from despair. So why did Kid and Law lose? Because Shanks, he said that the new generation, they are stronger than you think. Oden, he said the new generation would be the ones to defeat Kaido. And the Supernovas, they've proven their strength. So why did they lose? It's because they didn't deserve their bounties. They have similar bounties on the level of Luffy, Buggy, I mean, it's a gag, but it's in that Buggy does have a lot of influence, and Mihawk as well. Similar to Luffy on Whole Cake Island, he defeated Katakuri, defeated Cracker, and escaped Big Mom's territory, destroyed her wedding, and he got a bounty of 1.5 bill, where I personally don't think it should have been that high in the first place. I think it should have been anywhere between 1 bill and 1.1 bill. Kid and Law, they both defeated Big Mom. It took all they had, their awakenings, them working together, and she's not even the strongest Yonko. I'm taking Kaido, I'm taking Shanks over him. I may even argue Blackbeard because of how broken he is with his Devil Fruits. And so after Luffy went to Whole Cake Island, he came to Wano, he tried to go against Kaido and was humbled. And so I think this is the exact thing that happened in Kid and Law. They puffed up their chest and they didn't deserve their bounty, and after getting that high bounty they didn't deserve, they got humbled by Blackbeard and got humbled by Shanks. Where if you look at Luffy, he deserved his bounty, because now granted he did have some help because Kaido wasn't at full strength and whatnot, but he still was the strongest creature, and end all be all in the climax of the fight, it was Luffy versus Kaido one-on-one. If I had to put the bounties, Luffy should have either been in the 4 billion, so they would have stayed at 3 billion, or if Luffy was at the 3 billion part, then Kid and Law should have been a little bit lower, probably in the 2 billion range. So what is next for Kid and Law? Like I said, they needed to suffer this defeat. This experience will allow them to grow. Once you hit rock bottom, the only way you can go is up. I think in terms of Luffy, his crew will be fine because, hey, they're the main characters, and also, like I said, I don't think they'll suffer defeat. I think they will get out of Egghead Island just fine. I think in the next arc they go meet Shanks, whether it's go against them, whether it's reunite, whether it's have a Davy fight, whatever. That's what they're going to do. Now, in terms of characters who have gotten defeated and suffered defeats on this magnitude, look at Crocodile. He left the New World after being defeated by Whitebeard. Moria, I don't know if he left. I know a young Moria ended up clashing with Kaido. I don't know if he was defeated by him, so take that with a grain of salt, but he ended up leaving the New World as well. I think Kid and Law, they will definitely bounce back, but they have to get stronger along with their crew. They got to rebuild their ship, and their crew have to evolve as well. If it's not just the captains, they shouldn't have to burden everything alone. And like Law said, in order to survive in the New World, you either have to join a Yonko's crew or fight against them. So maybe in the end they'll join a Yonko's crew, maybe they'll join Cross Guilds, maybe they'll try to team up with Luffy again. I'm not sure, but they will definitely be back, and I can't wait to see them in the final war. Like I said, their defeat was definitely needed for their growth. And to be honest, I don't think anybody in the community expected Law to beat Blackbeard or expected Shanks to be defeated by Kid. But at the same time, I don't think they were expecting them to lose the way they did in this magnitude, getting embarrassed like this. Overall, like I said, I love Kid and Law as characters, and Luffy as well. The Supernova, they are strong, they'll bounce back, especially, well, specifically talking about Law and Kid, and they'll be back in time for the final war. Can't wait to see what'll happen in the Egghead incident. But let me know how you guys feel about Luffy and what he'll do in Egghead Island, and also Law and Kid's defeat in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.